So, like I said, my name is Professor Sasha Soon, and I am from the counseling department, okay? And today we have with us Alex, who's going to videotape, and we also have David Moretti, who's from the Academic Computing Center. You guys might have visited that department on your tour. It's the area upstairs where there are tons and tons of computers for you guys to access, okay? And I mentioned that because we all know that this is a fully online course, correct? That means that probably this is the only time that you guys will be seeing me. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to be available, but the entire course is online. So let's say for some reason if you don't have computer access at home, you guys can always go upstairs to the ACC and use one of the computers there. Okay? I'll let David introduce himself, and then we'll get started on the agenda for today.
Once again, I'm Dave Moretti, Academic Computing Center. It is the facility upstairs. My role is college webmaster and the college Blackboard administrator. So because this course is fully online, it lives and breathes inside of Blackboard. Blackboard's accessible through the CUNY portal. How many of you have done the freshman first orientation over the last 3 days? Okay. So you came in, part of the process was to get you into signing on to the CUNY portal. That's how you're going to access Blackboard. All right. If you didn't do it, or if you don't remember, if there's just a ton of stuff, don't worry about it. Instructions for how to get in are on the college website. So you always have a fallback on any questions you might have. Aside from Professor Soon, you could come to the ACC. Pretty much everybody on our staff is aware of how to get you in. You can ask questions, and if I'm there, you could just come, knock on the door, and bug me and say, how do I get in? Or I'm having a problem. Stuff like that, okay?
We should pause for a second to get ourselves up on the board, the display. Okay. All right, so like Dave was saying, in order to access the course, you guys will need to go through the CUNY portal. Okay, how many of you guys are aware of your CUNY portal username and your password? Show of hands. Okay, so reverse question, how many of you do not know your CUNY portal usernames or passwords? So we only have 2. Okay. What Dave is going to attempt to show us today is how to log into the CUNY portal and how to actually set one up if you don't have one or if you've forgotten your password. Okay, so we'll just take 2 minutes to set up.
So it's just cuny.edu, cuny.edu, okay? When you get there, portal login is the link by which you'll be going into this course, okay? So you would log in, and you made the course available?
I did make it available.
So, and Alright, I'm drawing a blank.
Okay, so while Dave is talking about, well, trying to get in, all right, let me just, okay, should I give them an overview first?
Yeah, give them an overview.
Okay, so let me give you guys an overview of the course in general. Okay, so ST-100 is a course that's primarily taught by counselors in the counseling center. Okay, we are now currently located in L422. And this course is supposed to orient you guys to your college experience. We're hoping that with this course, you guys will take the knowledge that you learn here and apply it to all your future semesters. Some of the things that we'll be covering are time management, stress management, career exploration, but the most important part will be academic advisement. Okay, academic advisement entails me teaching you guys how to actually use that college catalog to decide what you're going to be taking next semester and in your future semesters here at the college. Okay, this course is required. Okay, and if you don't take it and pass it, you will have extreme difficulty registering for the spring semester, and you'll have to take the course again during the intersession. That's in January. Okay? This is going to be our first semester where we're piloting this online course. Okay, so primarily students always take the course face-to-face, but due to the fact that now we have 3,800 new freshmen, we have to make some of the sections online because there's no physical space on the campus. Okay, so when Dave gets in, Okay, here we go. All right, so you get into CUNY portal, and then Dave will continue.
Right, so I'm logging in as a student. It's a test account to mimic what you should see. Okay. Blackboard 8.0 is the link to access, and when we come in, you should be looking for the ST-100. Now, whatever section you're in, I don't know, I just added this test account to FNet 1. My courses is the entry point to your class, okay? So if I click on the link, it'll take me into the course, and please note, left-hand side of the screen is the course menu. Your professor will go over content as far as the lesson plans and what you're doing each week. Right-hand side, the bigger frame, is going to be the body of information. When you first go into this course, it's her announcements, or whatever the announcements are. All right? And this is basically how you would navigate and move your way throughout the course. So, left hand, if I wanted to look at the course syllabus, I would take a look. I can scroll down and interact, okay? Everything is pretty much designed to be available to you, for you to see, to access, to use, okay? But you have to go through that CUNY portal in order to access Blackboard. So once you create that username and password, you can get in, and then you can access the course. Why the CUNY portal? Well, we have Blackboard, we have eSIMs if you want to register for classes. We have this thing called, on campus we call it Tiger Tracks, but it's actually called DegreeWorks. It's for advisement. What? Professor soon could go into more of that. I'm just telling you, we put everything in this one environment for you, okay? Once you get in, you can manipulate, make your way through the Blackboard environment, all right? What do you need to get in? Well, initially, the first thing you need to set up is you need to know what your last name is. Now, it sounds pretty simple, right? Okay. Here's where the curveball comes into play. If you have an apostrophe in your name, or a hyphen, or a space, when you enter your last name, you need to make it match what's on your bursar's receipt. So, has everyone gotten that like bluish, whitish bill? Okay, that's your college bill, all right? We call it a bursar receipt. It's the pay this bill, okay? Your last name that's on there is exactly what we have in the system. So, if there's a typo in your name, you need to get that corrected. That's what you use, your last name, your social. If you don't recall what your social security number is, you can stop by Professor Soon, or you can come see me and say, hey, I have no idea, okay? And we'll help you out, we'll help you find it. And then obviously you also need your date of birth. So it's last name, social security number, date of birth. Those are the three key pieces of information. The only time you're entering it is when you first go into the system. You'll need to remember that in the event you should ever forget your password, okay? Not like you're really going to forget. I mean, you're going to be going in, on a pretty consistent basis. But if you do happen to forget, life gets in the way, then that's the back way to reset your password to get into the system. It's going to ask for the same three pieces of info. Once it's set up, your username is whatever you want to use, okay? You could make it anything in the world. I don't really care. As long as you remember it, you remember the password, it's fine with me, all right? Once you come into the class, though, you're going to be interacting with your professor, with the assignments, and the information that she has there for you. I will advise you this, and this is a strong advisement. When you first enter Blackboard, this is your home page, okay? Courses that you're taking, in this case, this test student is sitting in 2 classes, all right? Any other information that's there, but at the same time, we have this thing called update email. What we're trying to do is get everybody to use the campus email system. It's called TigerMail, all right? So we're pre-populating everyone's account with this email. And if you did freshman first, that was one of the first things you did was set your password for email. So we're trying to get into the system. If ever you notice that the email in the system, where you're not receiving emails from your professor, and you're like, what's going on here? This doesn't make sense. The update email link that you see on the left-hand side will allow you to change it to your Queensboro email address, okay? So now in this case, yes, this student has a valid Queensboro email address. So the person can change it, all right? But if it didn't, if it had something else, say it had my LaGuardia address or my Baruch address, I could change it to anything I want. Note this, you can only change it to an address that ends in .edu. Actually, I think it's .cuny.edu. So you can't put your Hotmail address or your AOL address. No. The university won't let you do that. Okay? It has to be a university accepted address. And that's communications on campus. All right? I won't get into those politics. But at least you can set it. You can get to my course, you can see your announcements, and you get to see everything that's going on. And you click on the link, it enters you into your course. This you'll see if you take more classes on this campus, or even other CUNY schools that use Blackboard. It's how you get into your class. Anybody in here in nursing? Okay. For the nursing people, see that other thing that said my organization? That in this case, this person had nothing for? Under my organizations, if you're in a nursing program, like if you're taking NU 101, you're going to see a link there. And that's called the nursing organization. And that's where we have more information. Anybody in taking biology 301? No. Okay, good. Oh, well. You're going to see a link there as well. So in addition to online courses, we have online organizations, like mentoring programs, okay, to help you further get through these courses. So I asked about 301 because we have one big, huge organization for all the 301 students to help with anatomy and physiology. Nursing's got a big one, and that's really for like clinicals and course evaluation, stuff like that. So we have a lot of different things. And Blackboard is going to be your entry point into this environment. Any questions? Any concerns? Any fears? Anybody really care? Yeah. All right. Okay.
Good. You should care.
Good. I'm glad at least you said that. I was starting to panic for a moment. What? No one really cares. Make me feel bad. I just want to see if the college website comes up. I mean, this weird network issue. Certain pages aren't displaying properly. All right.
Okay, so like I was saying before, since you guys are the first group of students that will be taking this new online version of the course, what you're going to find at some points are some mistakes, okay? Because I only had about 3 or 4 months to actually develop this course. So if you guys come across any glitches, like where things are looping a lot, send me an email, say, Sasha, hey, this is going on, da-da-da, and I'll fix it, okay? So keep an eye out for little mistakes, because I'm not going to catch them because I've seen the course so many times that it's just become mundane to me, okay? All right.
I just wanted to show you from the college website, all right? And I know this is one of the pages. We actually have a page called Blackboard. It's under Quick Links, Blackboard info page. If you find yourself having a problem getting in, the need an account is I've never created a Blackboard or a CUNY portal account. These are the instructions. Notice the images up there to help you, step you through the way. It is a whopping 13 steps, only because I really broke it down. I'll be honest with you, I broke it down for the professors. Okay. Trust me, you'll believe that when you see it. If you forget your username or forget your password, I have it up there as well. I can't remember my username, what do I do? And if at any time just something is not right, this little button here, at Blackboard Support, is your way of emailing Blackboard Support. So I advise you to email your professor when it comes to your course. But if you're having problems actually getting into the course or just problems in general, at Blackboard Support sends me an email. Then I can help you, okay? And it might be something a bit more complex, or it could be I'm not seeing stuff in her course, and you don't know, is it her problem or is it my problem? So just hit me up and just say, Dave, what's going on here, okay? And that's what I'm here for. I'll answer the emails as fast as I can. Some cases I'm pretty quick, other cases it's the weekend, give me a moment, all right? But that's what it's all about, okay? It's all back on you.
Okay. All right, I'm going to come up here. All right, so we have you guys, thank you, in CUNY Portal. We have you in your course. What I want to go over now is the basic shell of the course and what you guys have to be able to access and understand. So at the top over here, we'll see I can look right here, is the announcements button. This will bring you back to this, what I call the homepage. I've already put up your welcome message and I put up your obtaining course texts. Everyone that's here right now has a copy of both the handbook and the catalog, right? Right? Yes. Okay, we'll be putting up the video in this link over here, and here are your responsibilities each week. Okay, so each week you are responsible for listening to the lectures, reading the assigned pages in both your handbook and the catalog. You're going to participate in the discussion board, okay, and I'll get into that in a second. And you'll also complete any assignments and any assessments that are in the actual course lesson. All right. We have your syllabus over here. It gives you a breakdown of everything that will be covered in the entire course. We will have 10 lessons, okay, that go for 10 weeks. So after the 10th week, you guys have no more responsibilities for me, but your normal semester continues on, okay? So this is just that. Up here at the top, you will see my name, email address, where I'm located, and also my office telephone number. In the syllabus, I haven't really put down what passing is because for every counselor, it's a little bit different. For us, however, okay, I'm going to say that you guys have to get at least 75% in the class in order to receive a grade of P in the class. Okay, P means pass. NC would be anything below 75%. NC means no credit. Okay, you guys have to get that P in order to register for your spring classes and to not have to take this course again in the intersession. Okay, questions on that? All right, we have our course info over here, which is what I was talking about before, who the course is taught by, who we are, etc. I have my info over here. This is a really bad picture, but let's not even look at that. Here are my office hours, okay? Where are we looking? Oh, yeah, there it goes. All right, so I'll be here Monday through Thursday, 9 to 11 Monday, 9 to 2 Tuesday, 9 to 12 Wednesday, 9 to 2 on Thursday. If any of those hours do not fit your schedule, shoot me an email, okay? Other arrangements can be made for you. All right, course texts, went over that already. Now, let's actually get into a lesson, okay? So as of right now, right now, you guys can actually access Lesson 1, okay? So in Lesson 1, you'll see that you have your objectives, your lectures 1 and 2, your readings, discussion board, and the assignment, okay? You guys have to complete all of these areas every single week in order to be present in the classroom. I think the volume is going to be really loud on this. Do you think so? Okay. So let's click on the lecture and give you guys a little intro to how every single week will look. It depends. Some of them are 20 minutes, some are 30 minutes, okay? Because keep in mind that the course is designed to run once a week for 50 minutes. My lectures aren't going to be that long. However, listening to the lecture and then doing the assignments could take you 50 minutes per week, okay? All right, so let's start the lesson. Why can't I see anything? That's supposed to be me, but... Not yet. Hold on.
First step towards your professional life.
There you go.
My name is Professor Sasha, and I'm going to work with you for the next 10 weeks in this course that's called Introduction to College Life, or ST-100 for short. There's a lot, and I mean a lot of information that we'll be covering this semester, and all of it, I expect, will become useful to you as you progress in your academic career here at QCC, as well as at a four-year college, if that's the path that you choose to take.
Okay.
Before we jump into our...
So it goes on and on, all right? After watching the first lecture, you would go back here, click on the second lecture, okay? You watch that. Oh, to Lesson 1, okay?
I came here expecting it's a community college, it would be more of a commuter school, but I've really made incredible friends. A lot of us have been...
Okay, so pretty much Lecture 1 is the bulk of the lesson. Lecture 2 then is a little supplement to give you guys the student or the administrative perspective on that particular lesson, okay? Everyone has that so far? 2 lectures each week. Go back to Lesson 1. You do your readings, okay? For week 1, you're only going to be doing readings in your student handbook. When I say to do the readings, I mean don't try to memorize everything, but look through all the information and get yourself acquainted with it, okay? Then you go into the discussion board. This is pretty much where I'm going to be counting your participation from, okay? So you click on this link for discussion, and over here, click again on Lesson 1 discussion. What you'll see here is what you have to respond to every single week, okay? So there'll be a different question or a series of questions every single week. Take note down here. You must respond to the discussion questions by Wednesday of each week, okay? By the Friday of that particular week, you must respond to at least 2 of your classmates, okay? When I say to respond, either respond to them and say, what are you talking about? You know, I wasn't too clear about what you meant by blank. Can you explain that? Or say, you know, I totally agree with you, I had the same experience, etc. Okay, so respond to at least 2 of your classmates by Friday of that particular week. Questions so far? Okay, good question. To respond initially to this discussion question, you would click over here where it says reply. Okay? All right. You would then, okay, you would then answer those discussion questions there, okay? After that, you would scroll down and put submit. Okay, so I'm going to cancel that. So when you submit your particular discussion question, it'll show up down here, okay? And what's your name? Dion. It'll say Dion and your last name and what your response was, okay? Someone else then, later on, can go in and see your response, click on it, and then respond to you. Okay, does that make sense? Very good. So after doing that, you go back to Lesson 1 again, and then you complete your assignment. For every week, with the exception of week 2, there's an assignment to do. Okay, so for week 1, just click on the words to know. Pretty much this is a matching exercise. It asks you to read these definitions over here, pick the word that matches, put in the choice. When you're done with that, click submit. I will then get those responses from you. Okay?
Just be aware on some of these assignments, you'll get an immediate grade result back to you, so at least you'll know what you scored, okay? So there are some of the assignments that you have to do that she's going to have to read. So don't be surprised if you don't see a score, and I'm glad she demonstrated this. If you take other classes on this campus or anywhere in CUNY that uses the Blackboard assignment feature, you might see a grade, you might see a grade with feedback, or you might not see a grade, okay? And that's just how the professor set it up. They might want to go back and look, especially if there's anything having to do with essays or short answers, stuff like that. So you'll find this is used for courses in English, your liberal arts courses, and even in the science courses as well, if you did chemistry or whatever, math. So everyone uses it a little differently, and the assessments take on a life of their own based on that professor, okay? So that's just something to look at.
Take note of the instructions for the assignment, okay? For this particular one, if you get less than 80%, you must redo the assignment in order to get a completed assignment grade for it, okay? And why I'm saying all of these things is because I've created a grade book for myself that has every single thing that you guys have to do listed there for me. So in terms of the discussion board, okay, if I see that you didn't post at all, you're not going to receive credit for that. So then instead of getting 100% for completed, you'll get a 0. Okay, so I need to see you posting at least 3 times for the week on that discussion board. 1 for the initial response, and then 2 for your replies to other classmates. Okay, once I see that, I'll go into my grade book and I'll put in completed, which is 100%. You go on it whenever you want to, okay? But keep in mind that there are deadlines, okay? So for the first response to that discussion, it has to be by Wednesday. For your responses to your 2 classmates, they have to be by Friday. So if I see that you don't do your initial response until like Thursday, I'm going to have to shoot you an email and say, hey, Dion, what's been going on? You know, I put these deadlines there for you, but you're not respecting them, okay? What else? You can, but So, go ahead.
No, I was just going to emphasize that you can, but remember, if you're responding to 2 of your fellow classmates, your classmates might not respond to something until Thursday. So if you go on a Monday, you might not see anything from that person, and you have Friday of that week. So let's say classes start tomorrow. Okay, so let's be realistic. Let's look at next week. You go in on Monday, but Wednesday is the deadline. So you get your stuff done, but you're not going to see what your fellow classmates put in unless they went in on Monday as well. You'd have to go back another day to look in and say, oh, all right, so I check on Thursday. Everybody went in, take a moment, respond to 2 of them, and I believe your professor's asking for something a little bit more than I agree. Well, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Something more substantive, okay? And that way you could go forward with it. So how often you go in is a determination of how much you want to put into it, okay? The more you put in, the more you get out of it. All right, that's fine.
Yes. Say we have responded to our classmates already, and we go back and look on it, and there's one of our classmates who had just put something up and want to respond to it.
You are more than welcome to. Okay, the more interaction that there is, the better the class goes. Okay, and take note down here where it says a simple response of good post will not be enough to give you credit for participation. Okay, so I want to see you guys talking to each other. Okay, and I might go into and respond to you and say, clarify that for me. Okay, so just, try to go in a couple days a week. If you don't see things there that are new, log back out, but go in as often as you can. Okay, I'm not really asking for too much. All right, it's just that I want you guys to be active, to get to know each other and me as well. Anything else, Dave?
No, I think honestly, this is a great first step in getting you involved in using a system like this, because as you move along, if you have plans to go to a 4-year school and continue your education, you're going to be expected to answer information. If you take a course that's writing intensive, the professors are going to be looking for you to respond, to interact, and to write more. This is your first shot at actually getting used to responding to other people, okay, and interacting with other students in an online environment. So this is that first step. So don't panic right away. I don't know if you're really hammering them on spelling and
No,
stuff like that.
I mean, I would prefer if you guys were to reread your work before submitting it. There is spell check.
Spell check, you can use that. You can highlight things, but because you're in an educational environment, try and hold off on really blasting away at somebody, okay? So the good advice would be if you think something is filled with fire, don't send it. Take a moment, go back later on, and rethink it, okay? This is all about education. This is all about interaction, but in an educational environment, and what you're doing, okay? So if you're really passionate, I mean, you might find students are really passionate about stuff on campus. Especially if, like I saw some of you are in nursing, if you're really passionate about patient advocacy, you might want to take that up. And this is what you're passionate about because that's what you're looking to study. That's your passion. That's why you're here. Congratulations, you're in college. This is your education. Once you get it, no one can take it from you. So take hold of it and go with it. Okay?
Good. Okay, so does anyone have any general questions about Lesson 1? It is available as of right now. I made it available yesterday. Okay? Go ahead. Very good question. Okay, let me show you this, all right? So if, let's say, you were really, really awesome and you did everything for Lesson 1 by Monday, and you go to Lesson 2, all you're going to see there are the objectives. Okay, because I've set time, Dave and I have set times that these are only going to roll out the Sunday before the week starts. Okay, so Lesson 2 will not roll out until next Sunday. And then Lesson 3, the Sunday after that. Okay, because I don't want people to just speed through everything. I want you guys to take some time and, think about the club fair that's coming up. If you want to respond on that, do so, because a lot of things are going to happen in your first semester. So just take it all in, okay, and just take your time. Okay? What else? Down here, I put in, 2 useful links for now. This will become important when we do career exploration, okay? So as of right now, you just have the Queensboro website, which is not working.
No, it's Campus Network. It's not working.
Okay, then we have the Counseling Center website. which is okay. All right, but usually those links work though. Okay, I want you guys to just remember again over here. These are my office hours. Okay, so if you want to write them down, go ahead and do that. If you want to go into the classroom later and write them down, that's fine. Okay, so as of right now, though, all right, I'm located across the hall from L422, but check in there first. Okay, and then they'll just call me up and say, come and get the student. All right? Let's see, what else did I have to say to you guys? Remember 75% in order to pass the class. Okay, so if you see that you haven't been doing stuff at all and it's like week 8, you can't expect to do everything for week 8, 9, and 10 and then pass the course. Okay? I want Dave to talk to you guys really briefly about setting up your Tiger Mail account. Okay, I know that you guys heard this before, but just as a brief overview, let's do that, and then we'll end. I'll stick around for questions, and then you guys can go enjoy the food. Okay?
I'll make this quick and really concise. Tiger Mail is student email. Sorry. Big guy knocked her off. That's not cool.
But isn't our Tiger Mail like our Blackboard mail?
No, okay, we're using Tiger Mail. That's what the college calls your student email. We've tied your student email to Blackboard. But understand this, they're two totally separate systems. Blackboard is part of CUNY, so that's CUNY-wide, City University-wide. Tiger Mail is Queensboro specific, all right? So I'm going to show you how to go into student email, which is under Quick Links, Email, Tiger Mail, okay? And as a student, the very first thing you should do is create your personal Tiger Mail password. Now, here's where you might find some issues, okay? This is a very straightforward, honest question. How many of you here have, two last names or a hyphen in your last name or an apostrophe or a space, period? No one. Perfect. Okay. So you're the normal, all right? Tiger Mail is the first letter of your first name, your entire last name, and the last 2 numbers of your Social Security. Okay? That's your username for Tiger Mail. So you would have to enter that here. Then you would have to enter the last 4 of your social, because we're just trying to confirm who you are. Your password, the requirement is 6 characters. A character is a letter or a number. Okay? So you could do a 6-number password, a 6-letter password. You can get ridiculous and fill the whole box in. It has to be no less than 6. And whatever you type here, you have to type again down here. And then set your date of birth. Now, there is no student on this campus born after 2000. So please don't change the 1900, okay? I don't think anyone here was born in 2000. All right? If you are, wow, fantastic to you. Yeah, hey, they're taking the class, cool for them. So just set your month, date, and year. If everything goes good and your password works, after you hit submit, it'll say you've successfully created your password, click this link. If there's a problem, it's going to say contact Tiger Mail Help. It's a telephone number, 718-631-6348. We have a facility on this campus, Administration Building, room 303, and that is the Student Help Desk, especially for Tiger Mail support. If you're in the Academic Computing Center upstairs, you can just come grab one of us. We'll help you out. There could be a typo inside the system, either a typo in social, a typo in name, or the wrong date of birth. I've seen it, and it does happen. Okay, we are humans, so we can address that. We can get that fixed, and you can get into the system. Once you've set up your Tiger Mail account, unfortunately, this test student doesn't have a Tiger Mail account. You would then use that button, this Tiger Mail button right here, to access Tiger Mail. And it's going to ask you for that same username again with that same password that you just entered. And that'll get you in. You can see emails from your professor, emails from Office, I believe, of Student Affairs, or Student Activities. It's limited. The college doesn't just hit you with spam, okay? We don't sell your email just to anybody. It's really used just for inter-campus information. Professors will use it, okay? Absolutely, you're going to get emails from whatever professors you're taking that use Blackboard. It's going to go to your Tiger Mail account, all right? Now,
David?
yeah.
I have a question. So if someone has a personal email address at the moment that's linked to their Blackboard, can they leave it as that, or do they have to change it?
If you went into Blackboard and you clicked on that, or like in your case, you looked at the list and saw somebody had a Yahoo account, it's probably because that's what was first entered when you registered for the college, right? It'll work, but I will tell you this, it might not work 100% of the time, okay? So the advice is to update it to a campus email that we know works 100%. And the reason I say it might not work gets me to the next thing. We have found over the years that Yahoo, AOL, and Hotmail at times will take emails that come from the city university and label them as junk mail or spam. And then now you're not getting your emails from your professor. We found that out the hard way, okay? That's why we really want you to change it to your college email, okay? The other thing is, how many of you use AOL to get online? Okay. All right, here's the bad news. You can use AOL to get online, but once you're online, you need to open up a separate browser, whether it be Internet Explorer, Firefox, Safari, whatever. That's what you're going to have to use to access both TigerMail and the CUNY portal. AOL has this ridiculous feature, and it turns a lot of the functionality off of our site and of CUNY. And then you're going to get a bunch of errors or things are not going to look right, and you're going to be calling us saying, your site doesn't work, your site doesn't work. And that's when we turn out and find out, oh, you're in AOL. Get out of AOL, it works fine. So that's for my AOL users. For everyone else, the sites, both TigerMail and CUNY, work in Internet Explorer. Here's the standard one. It works in Firefox. It works in Safari. Pull it up on my phone. Pretty cool. So you'll be able to get in and look at stuff. Okay. You can access both TigerMail and Blackboard, CUNY portal, in a lot of different browsers. Okay.
So,
yes, ma'am.
You said when we came in to do a registration initially, we did put our personal emails.
Right.
So you're saying go back in and change that now to our TigerMail.
If when you first go into Blackboard, see when you go into Blackboard, here's the one thing you can do. Before you panic and freak out, as a student, everyone has this ability.
Right.
There's a link here that says personal information, all right? And edit personal information. And you'll see this test student has an email address already in there. This is what we as a campus have been doing. You register here at Queensborough, you're accepted. You enroll in a course, okay? We generate a student email, a TigerMail account for you. And then we're trying to populate all these Blackboard courses with this email. Some cases we're seeing a delay of 72 hours for it to show up, but it is happening, okay? If at this point you go in, say tomorrow, and it still has the wrong email address, you could change that, all right? And that's only because the system's trying to play catch up to the the load. I don't even know how many thousands of students we have, but there's a lot. Okay?
14,000.
Okay, so 14,000 students. Give us a little moment to try and generate at least the brand new 8,000 new accounts.
So I don't have to change it, it'll automatically change it?
It will change it. It will do that automatically for you.
Okay.
Okay? Now, I'm going to also advise you of something really cool that we've started making changes in CUNY. On that edit personal information link, there's a link here for set privacy options. The really great thing about this environment is you can now turn on or turn off how other people in CUNY see you. So by checking privacy options, okay, and I'm hoping it shows up, I can choose what information I want to make publicly available. Okay? So I can check mark something and say, yes, I want my email address to show, or I can remove the check mark. When I talk about Blackboard being part of the CUNY portal, 24 college institutions through CUNY, 400,000 students and faculty. You are one of 400,000 people. Might be a good idea to turn something off, okay? What we've done by default is hide all your information. We've defaulted to that saying everything you have is hidden. The professors have a roster. They get to see your first name and last name. We've hidden your email addresses from your fellow classmates. You could turn it on and say, yeah, I want my classmates to see my email address so they can email me directly through my TigerMail account. We leave that up to you. You're young adults. You can make that decision for yourselves, okay? So we've turned a lot of things off, and we've given you the power to turn them back on when you feel like it. And if you make the change, it's not permanent. You can always go back in and change it again, okay? So the interaction or how the system works is based on you. So that's something that you have the power over. You can control that. So, Tiger Mail, I can access off the Queensboro website. I'm going to try and hit the home page and see if it loads. And as usual. See, I know this is working. Yeah. See, it works perfect, and then we have this network issue. I'm putting up a number because I can probably remember it off the top of my head. When you get to the college homepage, there'll be a button that says Tiger Mail. Right below the button that says CUNY Portal. So the CUNY Portal is your access to Blackboard. Tiger Mail is your access to email, student email. If at any time, you can always pull up the menu at the top, which is quick links. You can get the Blackboard or you can get the email from here. All right, so you have all these menu options that are at your disposal as a student. The frequently asked questions, the Blackboard Support, and you can reach out if you wanted to look up counseling. I believe you guys are academics support services?
Yes.
Yes, counseling. And there's their link, okay? They're also on the current student page, and that loads. So you'll see the link for counseling here. So you can always reach out to Professor Soon through the counseling website or anything else.
Okay, so to wrap up, I just want to briefly go over the handout that I gave you guys. Okay, on the front page, you'll just see some basic overviews of what we just covered in the last 40 minutes or so. Accessing the course online, your weekly responsibilities, and the course prerequisites. Okay, this is just for you to reread at home. You'll need a browser, you'll need Adobe Acrobat Reader, you'll need Flash, okay, CUNY Portal account, and your Tiger Mail address. Okay, also it'll be worth your while to have a word processor, something like Microsoft Word. Okay. The next couple of pages are instructions on how to make your CUNY Portal username and password. Then we have accessing Blackboard in the back. And then the last page is Tiger Mail information. Okay, so everything that we just covered is in this little packet here. On the back, you have my business card, okay, with my name, email address, phone number. Okay, keep this handy for the next 10 weeks.
Normally it comes up and you have to click to install.
Yeah, if you're not sure, you can go to Adobe's website, which is just adobe.com. And you'll see the little buttons on their site that says Get Acrobat Reader or Get Flash. Flash and Acrobat are all part of Adobe. And if you click on that link, it'll actually run a test on your machine. So if you have the latest version, it'll tell you. So if it's Flash, it'll show a little movie. If it's Acrobat, there'll be a little icon there that's displayed. You install it, and then you can actually read the files. As students, you can go through the CUNY portal. And there's a link for the CUNY email, and you get student discounts on software. And in some cases, it's like a ridiculous discount. So it depends on whatever program you're in. But you can get stuff for free on our website as well. We have a link for freeware. So if you're not sure, you can go to the college website. So we do put stuff out there. As far as word processors go, you can use Word, Microsoft Word or Write or WordPerfect or whatever.
Okay. Pay attention to the announcements every week, okay? I'll be putting stuff up there about immunization requirements, club fair, withdrawal period, things like that. Okay, and if you remember, when you do your initial post to the discussion board, if you can title that as main post so that it shows me that that's your first initial post. Okay, because if you just start writing, it's going to just come up as a bunch of words. So I'm not going to know if that was your response or your main post. So if you can title them main post and response, that'll help me out a lot. Okay? Any other questions? All right. Your name's going to come up automatically attached to it. However, in the body, in that box, if you could just do main post, : skip a line, and then answer the questions.
But if we write it in the subject box, it wouldn't show.
It should show, but on a reply, you're replying to a subject that already exists. Okay, so the initial one is a reply, but
So every time we write a post, we have to write main post.
If it's your main post, then yes. If it's a response, title it response. Okay? All right. We're good to go, guys. All right? Email me if you need anything.